Is you got a guy that's not that darn good, but he could go to another school and they give him $500,000, and you can't compete with that. That don't make sense. All you have to do is look at the playoffs and see what those teams spent, and you understand darn near why they're in the playoffs. It's kind of hard to compete with somebody who's giving $25-30 million to a darn freshman class.
I find it just a tad bit interesting and maybe a slight bit hypocritical that Deion Sanders, after his two great players, I mean, we're not just talking about good players in terms of Travis Hunter, one of the best players in modern college football history.
Disappointing that Deion Sanders is the guy who's coming out talking about salary caps, because when Deion Sanders came into college football, there was this idea that this guy was going to be the disruptor.
Because today, Coach Prime just did it again. Deion Sanders didn't hold back when he went live, and this time, he wasn't calling plays. He was calling out the entire system. With one sentence, he threw the entire college football financial structure into chaos. We're not professional football, but we're getting paid like we are. There has to be a cap. And just like that, Deion sparked a fire that has divided the nation. If you're a real fan of the game, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's talk about the issue shaking the core of college football. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, isn't just a coach. He's a cultural icon, a former NFL legend, and now one of the most influential voices in college football. So when he says something controversial, it doesn't just trend, it disrupts. This time, he's calling for something that many fans never expected from him: a salary cap for college athletes. Let that sink in. This is the same Deion Sanders who's been championing player empowerment, NIL deals, and opportunities for young black athletes to build generational wealth. But now he wants limits? Yes. And it's making headlines for all the wrong, or maybe the right reasons. Why Deion said it, according to Sanders, college football has lost its balance. During his appearance, he argued that big programs are throwing millions at recruits, NIL has turned into an unchecked arms race, and parity, the idea that any team could win, is disappearing. We're losing the soul of the game, Sanders says. It's turning into a business, and not even a well-regulated one. Sanders isn't just worried about the money. He's worried about the culture, the locker room, the grind, the reason why these young men play in the first place. In his words, they come in with a deal before they ever earn a down. That's not college football. That's chaos. Now here's where it gets spicy. Some fans are clapping saying, finally someone said it. They believe Sanders is protecting the purity of the game, that he's trying to restore balance between Alabama and Appalachian State, between Colorado and Clemson. But others? Oh, they're not buying it. Critics are roasting Deion for what they call hypocrisy. You built your brand on NIL. You flipped a 5-star recruit from Florida State to Jackson State because of a money deal. You've been on record saying players deserve to get paid, so now that you've benefited from the system, you want to cap it? Is this about fairness or control? Here's where the conversation goes from heated to nuclear. Implementing a salary cap in college football isn't just controversial, it might be unconstitutional. Let's talk facts. College athletes are now classified as independent contractors in many states. NIL deals are structured through third parties, not universities. The NCAA has already lost in court multiple times over restricting player compensation. So the million-dollar question is, how do you cap something the schools don't directly pay for? If Sanders is talking about NIL caps, that's interfering with private endorsement income. That's like telling a YouTuber they can't make more than $100.00 a year. That's not just un-American, it's legally shaky at best. Let's be honest, Deion's comments hit a nerve because everyone knows the truth. The NCAA has zero control anymore. Once the NIL floodgates opened, it became a free-for-all. Boosters became bosses, recruiting turned into auctions, and now every freshman wants 7 figures before they've played a single snap. This isn't just about Deion, it's about what college football has become. And maybe, just maybe, Sanders is tired of pretending it still looks like school. He sees what's coming. He's coaching in it, and he's saying the quiet part out loud. Players aren't staying silent either. Some college stars have already responded to Sanders' take, saying, if coaches can make $8 million, why can't we? Why are y'all always trying to control us when we finally get paid? And they're not wrong. College coaches have been cashing checks for decades. ESPN, Fox, Nike, Gatorade, they've all profited off student athletes without cutting them in. Now that the tide's turned, now that the players have power, here come the limits? That's not balance, that's backlash. Still, it's important to ask, what does Deion really want? Because maybe it's not about capping the money. Maybe it's about structure. Maybe he's saying, let's stop the bidding wars. Let's bring back loyalty. Let's protect the game before it becomes NFL light. In his view, salary caps don't destroy the game, they preserve it. But will the rest of the world see it that way? Let's play devil's advocate. Imagine NIL keeps spiraling out of control. A freshman makes $5 million. He doesn't start. He hits the portal next season because another school offered $6 million. Meanwhile, your locker room is divided, your veterans feel disrespected, your culture, gone. In that scenario, who wins? Maybe Sanders is trying to save college football from itself. Maybe he's the only coach willing to admit that letting the market decide everything isn't always the best way forward. Congress won't act anytime soon. The NCAA is too weak to enforce rules, and players, for now, have more power than ever before. Sanders has opened a door that no one wanted to open. And now the question is, do you want fairness or freedom? Because you can't have both. Either players get full access to NIL, no strings attached, or someone starts building fences and Coach Prime might be the first to swing the hammer. Coach Prime just made his boldest play yet, not on the field, but in front of a mic. By demanding a salary cap, he's challenging the very structure of college football. And whether you love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. This isn't just a debate about money, it's a battle for the soul of the game. So what do you think? Is Deion Sanders saving college football, or is he trying to control a system he no longer benefits from? Drop your comments below, let's debate it. Because this story is far from over. And trust me, this war just started.